take it to a higher realm. So no one wants to hear all that toxic self. The bell of an ancestral square is felt. Passing through the gates, we are taken to a higher realm. So no one wants to hear all that toxic self. When the bell of an ancestral square is felt. Passing through the gates, we are taken to a higher realm. So no one wants to hear all that toxic self. When the bell of an ancestral square is felt. Passing through the gates, we are taken to a higher realm. So no one wants to hear all that toxic self. When the bell of an ancestral square is felt.
Maboyka. Itu no kinati no, my sisters and brothers. Welcome. What hub? Rahubat. Greetings. Welcome. What hub? Zamutat. Wu Zamau. My sisters and brothers again. Bienvenido, mi hermanas, mi hermanos. And again, welcome, greetings, and peace. Rabat. Rabat. Peace and ashuk and divine caring. This one is entitled Read Church. Everybody's used to going to church and this and this and that. But this is coming from, school of thought that we all had the privy of experiencing with Panaba Yanun, and that it was the Church of Karast. Because remember, all these schools of thoughts, we have to go into these schools of thoughts, right? And we're easily deceived. He is the master of the art of deception. So he takes us to these schools of thoughts to show how we easily deceive and how to get to the core of these teachings. Karas, Cristo, Karas, Cristo. See? Cristo. And that is the refraction of all of the color spectrum and all deals with the sun. So I'm going to bring in some biblical quotes. But before I get started, I want to do some prayers, namaz. See? I had it here. And it starts off with all guardians, all heavenly ones, all inhibitors of the Sirius and Orion constellation, the guardians of the skies, providers of this planet, Arazak, providers, mothers and fathers of the Homo sapiens, the Ma Federation, mothers and fathers, the first civilization of all Homo sapiens, our guardians, our Nebu, descend into and around me, descend into us and around us. Let's put it like that. Guide us in all we do throughout this day. Guide us in all we do. Make us in your image, that character and personality after your own likeness. And we're going to speak really in depth about that. Help me that I may help all of humanity, all the Homo sapiens. Let us speak from your head. Let us speak from your intelligence, from your guidance. Let us speak from that and not from our own, right? Let me care from your heart, not from my own. Okay. Just wanted to bring that up. And just 1 second. What do we know? What do we know? And this is from the Gold Book. The Gold Book of Amtamrit, the Gold Book. And it says, what do we know? We know that all is natural nature, the all person, places, and things. And if you want to transcend behind more than that, you can. It's the all. I know two, ithne, if that, at that. I know two, that there is a duality in things. There's a good, agreeable, and there's disagreeable. Those are two things that I know. That there is good, there's bad. There's right, and there's wrong. There's antisociable people, and there's sociable people. You know that. I know three. I know three positions of the sun. I know that Amtumre, the rising, that appears to be rising, the sun, Ra, Re. I know that it gets to its zenith, which is Antunre, and I know that it becomes Amunre when it starts to settle or appears to be settled. And that's the rule of the three abodes: the Antumre, the Antunre, and the Amunre. I know four. One is the abode of the mortals, is Amtumre. Two is the abode of the Inad, the sacred nine, that's Antunre. This is still on the three that we know. And the third abode we know is that the abode of the guardians is Amunre, the abode of the guardians. And we're going to speak. The reason why I'm starting with this, because we're going to go into the Ba, the solar boat, the Ba, right, of Ra, and how it deals with the womb and the diaphragm. We're going to go in. We're going to impact this. We're going to impact this. The first world is the world of the physical beings, right? The physical beings, the Nitiru, the Safun Tasid, and the Nebu. And we just went over that. The second world is the world of spiritual beings. And those are your Natarus, Natarus, the Nitirus, Nataru, also Nasaru. Nasaru are your helpers, are your guardians. Ansar, Natar, Nasar, Natar. It's all related. The Enads and the Nebu. The last is the all, which we all are in the all. We all participating. We all part of. We all in the what? Pa'ut, all expanding is the all. Natural nature. Natural nature. And those four. Tamunefuset. Tamunefuset. Ta, pata, which is gi. Ta, right? Mu, moya, ma, the waters, ma, nefu, the shu, wind, and set, the fire, right? I know five things. I know ma'at, justice, truth, hakwak. I know loyalty, I know commitment, and I know devotion. These are five things that I know is justice, truth, loyalty, commitment, and devotion. Then I know six things. And those six things are freedom, peace, equality, right knowledge, right wisdom, and right understanding. Six things: freedom, peace, equality, right knowledge, right wisdom, and right understanding. Then the seven are the seven existence that I know. Kawunfin, right? Kawanfin. The physical existence, the existence of force, the spiritual existence, the mental existence, the existence of truth, the existence of reality, the existence of source. Then I know eight, the eight Agdas. I know Nun, Nanet, He, Het, Ke, Keket, Amun, and Amunet. Then I know the nine principles. Now, the reason why I'm going into this, because this is, again, innate in us. This is genetic blueprint. So I know nine principles. Ka, or the Ka is the spiritual me. Hu, Akul, Hu is the mental me. Khat is the body me. The ba, that's the soul me. I know the hey bet, that's the plasmatic me. Then I know the ahach, that's the etheric me. Ahachia, ahachia, etheric me. Hati, this is the physical heart of my mind, the physical heart of mine, the physical heart, the ib heart. Ab is the spiritual heart. Hati is the physical, ab, ib, that's the spiritual heart. Then I know Sekhem. Sekhem is the spark of life. Sekhem is that spark of life that comes from Ra, that comes from the sun, the electromagnetic forces. And that's all I wanted to go at. Okay? As to re-elevate that. So let's get started here. Peace and blessing, Ramasu, Elder, and Barney Johnson. Thank you, everyone, for watching, for being here. I want to acknowledge you, Hansu, Alex. I want to acknowledge you. I got to get your wrench, no doubt. Let me see. Can't do it now. I'll start that. Get your wrench. Zaid, Assalamu alaikum. Zaid, Assalamu alaikum. Rahubat, Bondor, Bondor. Peace and blessing to you, Floyd. Floyd, what's going on, man? Peace and blessing. So let me give you the foundation in the backdrop to this of Karast. So we already saw Karast. I should have brought it up in the actually sacred writings, the hieroglyphics. When I say sacred writings, I'm talking about hieroglyphics, right? That were formed in order to protect certain knowledge and certain oral traditions that would pass through, that you taught to the initiated. But the Karast is dealing with that substance. Again, crystal, or you get crystal from Karast, right? And so when all of the spectrum, all the electromagnetic forces from the sun is being funneled in to your etheric body. Remember, we know the etheric body, the ahachia. Ahachia is the etheric body. And it's an eggshell body. When that's funneled, these electromagnetic forces are funneled into this body that superimposes over our physical body. When that is refracted and that light, that's what we call Karast. Karast. And in the science, the school of thought of Karast, you amplify that, right? And that is a now valley concept. And that was taught in through all of Now Valley, of how to enhance your character and personality, your spiritual enhancement. They had time to do that. You'll develop your character and personality. And they watched, which I'm going to segue into the womb. Peace. I'm going to segue into the womb, right? And I'm going to show you, I'm going to bring up some stuff. So this is what we call Karast. That became later on Cristo and became, Cristo, or what Christianity should be based on. Again, remember, they hijack our science, they rebrand it, right? And then reform it and give it back so that it can help their economics. The core of it is economics. Okay? So economically, there were schools and institutions that were built throughout the Nile. You had the temples of Athar, you had the Heliopolis, you had Thebes, and you had Memphis. And you had many other schools, right? And in these schools, What were taught? Oral traditions were taught. And then you see in these walls, you see the glyphs that are there. That was on these walls. And then I didn't bring it up, but I promise to you next time I'll bring it up. And that is Karast. And I forgot the school. I think it was the school of Anun, which is the school of Heliopolis, because Helio dealing with the sun, and you deal with Karas with that energy center, you know. And when you strengthen your character and personality, it becomes amplified. You are a walking light. Many lights are being refracted from your etheric body, from your etheric eggshell body, the ahahia body, haibi, hat, right? So, you got to bring something up. So, where I'm going with this, I'm going to segue into the moon. So, in these temples, especially the temple Hathar, they knew how to chart the stars, and they knew how the connection between your character and personality. Hey, little Mario, what's going on? Say, little Mario, what's going on? Peace and blessings to you. They knew how to chart the stars, right? In order, when they procreated, because the Temple Hathar was like a procreation clinic, was a fraternity clinic, right? So the tribes and the initiatives knew the initiative, those that were being initiated into these schools knew that in order to have certain character and personality, which came from primordial beings, spiritual being, which is tied with your genetic blueprint, right? Because it's have codes and information. And that code and information, your genetics, is linked up to the code and information that's on the stars. Yeah. That was just very interesting that this brother brought it up, Phil Valentine, when he says, if you look at the stars, that's like that's like hieroglyphics. That's a language, that's a code that navigators are able to take those codes and understand it in order to navigate the waters. Same thing with the moon in the water, the Ma Confederation, the moon, the waters. They knew that with the stars, they were able to what? Navigate their life. So they watched very closely the stars at the time and knew that we're going to procreate, we're going to get together, right? Procreate during this time, so that they did the calculation. So at this time, this child will be born, and hopefully he will have this character and personality we're trying to amplify, right? And we're going to talk about those character and personality when I bring them up. I'm not going to go too deeply into this because I'm going to save this for a special class when you break down each one of these character and personality that's already encoded in our genetics. But I'm going to give you a little bit of a teaser for this, okay? And you tell me how you like it. Let me share my screen so I can get ready and bring it up. Let's see. It's this one here, right? Let me see. Yeah. Okay. I got it. I got it. All right. Let me share my screen a little bit over here. Maybe. This is going to be some ancient, ancient science stuff, but it's needed. It's needed. It's needed. Here you go. I don't know if I can make that bigger for you. Let me see if I can. Ah, sorry. So I'm trying to amplify this, and I can't. Yeah, there you go. If you can see that, right? Yeah. This, you see, this is the boat. You see the oars deals with navigation, right? I'll get you the actual boat in the way this is. Now these are 9 personalities here. Read it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Actually 10? No, 9. 9, right? These are characters and personalities Now, the Ba, right? And you go into the womb, and I'm going to read first, and I'm going to tie it into the Bible. But I just want to give you a little backdrop that the Ba is the soul of Re. And when you deal with the womb and you deal with those waters of noon in the womb, in the water of the mothers where we're born, there's a diaphragm, right? And then you have the placenta. A lot of information is being fed to the fetus through the placenta, right? And then the diaphragm, the breath, spiritus, the diaphragm is character and personality. That's the breath. The breath of something is its character and its personality. So encoded innately, we have these 9, some even more because you have 30 personalities that are going to come through. But ancient DNA and genetics, ancient are these 9 right here. And you see Haru over here, Haru, and you see Assad here. These are character, personality, the ability that we are going to be born with, this ability that we're going to be born with that is going to enable us, Assad, to unify things, to unify, look into unity, and to ascend messiahship, ascend, right? The Haru is the ability innately that we're going to have to overcome chaos or overcome the storm and fly over the storm and also fly towards the sun, right? Get all that electromagnetic forces that we're going to need to survive on Earth, and also to oversee things because a falcon can see almost 200 miles, going to oversee things, going to fly over storms, oversee things, right? And it has 2 eyelid folds that is able to fly directly into the sun and gain all that energy, right? So these are personalities, character and personalities, right? That we're born with that help us navigate through life. And this is the Ba, the soul. But before that, before that, I want to go into the biblical text. So give me 1 second. Let me bring up the Bible, the Bible. And let me bring up Genesis. So being that this is re-church, and a lot of people go to church and stuff, we're going to go to church. Let's go to church. Let's go to church, y'all. And let's see. I'm going to actually share this Bible with y'all here. So you can read it. Okay. Let's go to church. Let's just go to church. And here you go. Genesis, right? Gene. You see that? Genes. Genesis. Genes of Isis. All in the beginning. It starts off with Genesis, right? Barashit, right? Genesis. In the beginning, right? I should have brought the Bible concordance because I really want you to get the depth of this. So hold on 1 second. Let me not do this because then I will have to go and explain things. I want you to read it for yourself in the Bible. Let's go into the Bible concordance. How's that? Hold on 1 second. Let me stop sharing that. 1 second. Let's go into the Bible concordance because we're going to read it in Hebrew. Let me put this to the side here. And Bible concordance. Here it goes. And I want to do Genesis. Hold on 1 second. Genesis, the beginning of Genesis. All right. I got it. Bear with me. Okay. We're going to church, y'all. We're going to church. Hallelujah. We're going to church. Okay. So here you go. In the beginning, when you look at the word beginning in Hebrew 72:25, presses, it's Reshit, in the beginning, right? Specifically in order and rank, the first fruit of things, the first of it, the principal thing, right? So let's look at the word God. That's what's going to lead me into that solar ball or the solar ball. God has been translated and it's really Elohim. Elohim is plural. God in the ordinary sense, gods, more than one, but specifically using plural, especially in the article, the supreme God, right? Elohim, wherever you see a word in Hebrew, like in Arabic would be huma, right? At the end. And to make it two is a like if name, a, right? In Hebrew, to pluralize something like you do an S, it would be im. So you got Ibri, Ibrahim, or you got Ilah, Elohim. So it's plural. So in the beginning, there was these gods, multiple gods, more than one. Now some Christians would say, "Oh, that's the Son, the Ghost, and the Holy Spirit." That's what they'll say. So the Son is seen as a God, and you got the Father is the God, and the Holy Spirit is a God. That's what you're saying. Elohim, right? Gods. That's their narrative. Right? In the Nile Valley, it's a multiple on the Tirus, these forces of nature. I show you the bow, right? So we're going to impact that a little more. So you have the multiple, the multiple of beings, gods. But they only put one God. But it's God, according to the Hebrew. Now he created the heaven and the earth, right? The earth. And the earth was without form. Look at that. Earth. Earth, Eretz, which is a land, particularly a land. A part, it's not the whole earth, it's the ground. It's a specific part, right? That was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. Now, what darkness? What face of the deep? Because they said, and the spirit moved, right? If you go deep, then now you want to know what kind of deep it is, how deep it goes? It moved upon the face of the waters. It's talking about the deep in the waters without form, right? So when you look at Nile Valley science, you say, in the womb, we're in water. We're without form at first. We're in the waters of the womb of our mothers, right? Void. There's darkness, triple darkness in that deep water for that primordial being for us as a fetus. And then it said the spirit of God or the spirit of the Elohim move upon the faces of the waters. The diaphragm. You see that? The bow is meant to mean a crab of these character and personality, which is genetically in us. This crab is sitting right in the breath, in the diaphragm. That's going to impact, is going to help develop the character personality of that particular fetus. So you see this, how now Valley Science, you can extract nature science from this in the senses that you understand that a heaven and an earth, that means a spiritual is being created by these gods, these Elohim, right? That's the character and personalities are being created. And then the fetus, the earth, the dust, when the woman has to breathe, again, has to do a lot with the breath. Because that's why her nose gets inflated, bigger, and she starts breathing. She's smelling everything around her because she's taking in particles. There's more viruses, particles in the air than there is on earth. So she's taking in this, she's breathing in this, and forming this fetus, the what? The earth, the ground, the earth at the same time is creating also the character and personality, which would be considered the spiritual part, the celestial, the heavenly part. Right? So This fetus is without form and is void. It's upon the face of the deep. It's the water. When the water break, we're born, right? It's in the water. Right? So we're looking at the womb. We're looking at this in the beginning. We're looking at the womb. We're looking at the placenta, okay, feeding the fetus, the placenta, and giving the fetus information, genetic information that's passed on to Homo sapiens, genetic information to form the eyes, to form the, that's genetic coding. See, that's something that's passed on. And that is something that the character and personality also is being shaped at the same time. That's why naming ceremonies are very important when you have a shaman, a priest, or an elder that's able to see the child for 8 days. That's a custom, 8 days or more, to see what kind of character and personality they're able to see in that particular fetus, newborn. It's again has to do a lot with character and personality. And then consciousness appeared when the Elohim said, "Let there be light." And then there was light. The light is that ball of light consciousness. You become a sort of a consciousness. You become, again, start taking in the electromagnetic forces, and your etheric body starts forming in the womb. In the womb, your etheric, your ahachia starts forming. Those character and personality that is ancient. Not only the character and personality of your father, your grandfather, whatever, but we're talking about ancient character and personalities. And we showed it here. Let me bring it up again. Right here. With these ancient characters and personality that you see. And you see here the duck, that's a protector, right? You know, we're gonna impact this. Sits on the throne, Assad, the ability for us to ascend. This is encoded in us genetically. And here Haru with the what? Leading the charge, they all facing that says Haru. You know? Yamat. These are principles. You know? This is in, again, the diaphragm. The diaphragm. Taking in the breath of the character personality of our spiritual ancestors. Let me come back here. Sorry. All right, Papa, you at work. Oh, but you're listening. All right. So, Benita, peace and blessings to you. Peace and blessings to you. Cut through. What's going on? What's going on? We're in church, y'all. We're in church. Enjoy. So now Valley, Happy Valley, sciences is where we're coming at. We settled all into the Congo basins and Sahara. We're talking about the Maa Federation. The Maa Federation, called Maa, Maindala, right? Maindala, right? Maat, Maindala, right? But the Mande script, language, the Ma'a understood from the water. Remember mu, mu, nefuset, or re, tamare. That's the lineage. That's the line. Ma is coming from this federation. When you go to Sumeria, it's what? Magari, Magari, Magari in the Sumeria. I forgot what is in Hindu, but you go on. In ancient Kemet, it was Tamare. Ma in the center. Ta-ma-re. Ma. Ta-mari. Ma. The Ma Federation. And through oral traditions, with the Doggins Act, and a lot of when you study the methodology or the historicity of African tribes, and you see this oral tradition that's taught through musicians, storytellers, shamans, and priests, on and on and on. especially in Sudan. You had a lot of priests that were warriors and priests and storytellers, griots. You know what I'm saying? People that had storytelling craft that was passed on from mouth to ear in these studies. We still do that today when you deal with masonry or you deal even when you go to church. You're getting instructions from mouth to ear from your pastor. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not condoning all of that because you got to test it. That's why I'm gonna put the I'm gonna put the link up here. Anybody want to come up here, or they can call me if you have me on your Facebook. You can call me on Messenger, and I can set up everything and have and if you have any questions, also on the YouTube, feed. If anybody want to come on, I'll put the link. As to ask questions, please. No nonsense. Let's ask questions. But anyway, this is Now Valley Science for y'all. Now Valley Science. And this is the core of spirituality, which is character personality, which is actually the economics of all religions, is the spirituality. So we got to get back, chase everything back. We got to get back into the waters, man. Ma. You got to get back to ma. In that womb, that's where all those genetic blueprints and ancestral patterns were passed on to us. Passed on, in the womb. And when you activate that and you understand how do you activate that, it's very important. That's how women are so important to our nation building. You teach a woman, you raise her, you teach a nation. You know what I'm saying? You teach a man, you just teach an individual. You know what I'm saying? But the man could teach the tribe that it consists of those women. You know what I'm saying? And the nation. Because to pass this on to your children, knowledge like this, they overstand things, then you arm them with truth and you arm them with knowledge. Then they won't, they stand a chance not to be enslaved and conquered. Because now we now stand to reason of the art of deception and how people can deceive us. But when we get to the core of the truth, it's like, hey, it's right there in the womb. It's in the Ma. That was the first civilization in Africa. They're finding this out more and more every day through anthropology and archaeology. The Ma Federation. We learned this through the Imperial Majesty Kasambure, who sits in Nubia, who sits in Kush, who sits in that seat on the African Union. That is a lineage, Tamari, a lineage that comes from ancient Kemet, the Kush, the Tamari, Isis and Horus, on so and so. That's that character and personality that sits there. And we all carry that in our genetics by way of the mom. So we seeing how the Ba boat, right? And all the characters that it has, that's the breath, that's the diaphragm, that's the breath, that's the character and personality that's going to breathe life into the fetus. Their spiritual life. Spiritual life is going to be breathed into this child. But remember, there's a science where they're able to the stars, those positioning of the stars and character personality that deals with also those different ideograms or representative of the different forces of nature of the Naturus. They call them Tatarus, or these overseers that sits over us, and that's the character and personality. See? As you get older, you get to know your character personality more. And now I'm finding out that my name, it's really my name, Kepra, the scarab. I'll show you another one here. Hold on a second. Which is very interesting. No, it's not it. I had it. sorry, I must have lost it. I lost it. I lost it. Hmm. Yeah, yeah. Don't have it. Lost it. Lost it, y'all. But again, you get the gist of it. Yeah. Peace, my brother Deshaun. Pickett. Peace, brother. Let me put the link in here. And anybody wants to come up on here, they're more welcome to. You should see that, right? Let me see. You should see that link right there. Let me look at my thing here. Let me see. It didn't come up yet. Oh, there you go. I got it. It's up. It's up. Anybody wants to come on, they're more welcome to come on. As long as when you do, if you're gonna come on with your camera, you got to show your face. If you're not, I'm gonna think about it because lately there've been a lot of trolls coming in. You know what I'm saying? And but anyway, and also if you want to come on Facebook, I could put the link on Facebook too. Let me see. How do I do that? Jesus. Yeah. I can also put the link on Facebook. Just give me 1 second, y'all. Let me do this the right way. Let me go to Facebook and oh Facebook. Let's see how we do this. Here. Link. Okay, here we go. Here we go. I'm going to put it on Facebook now. Oh, here we go. Here. Here. Okay. There you go. It's on Facebook. Also, anybody wants to check it out. It's on there. See? Check. All right. So, sorry, what's going on here? Here you go. It's on Facebook. It's not on the live chat, I don't think. But I don't know how to do that in the live chat. But anyway, again, just to reiterate a little bit, that when you look at a lot of the schools of thoughts like Christianity, and you look at the Bible, you understand that the Bible was taken from other books, like the Illumination, the Epic of Gilgamesh. You see this correlation of the story. You also see oral traditions coming in, especially from ancient Kemet. But when you trace everything back, you trace it to the Ma Federation, you're going to get a more clearer consciousness, a more clearer understanding of a lot of these schools of thought, because you're going to trace it back to its origin. And how did the migration and people took their oral traditions with them, their agriculture with them, their linguistics, their glyphs with them, and you see this interconnection. Very, very important. You know? So when you deal with Happy Valley Sciences, and this is the Ma Federation, and you see how it's the first civilization, they call it the Tenerian culture, right? On the Oanian culture, right? Encompassing all of the Sahara when it was green, the Congo Basin, all the way into the Nile Valley, all into South Africa, into the Nile Valley. And these Ma Federation, Tasseti, who also known as Tasseti, were your bow, land of the bow, where the people were our ancient ancestors. They had a science, because science is sensing. You see things, you hear it, you sense it, you reason things out with your common sense. So they had plenty of time, right? Excuse me. They had plenty of time. It's crazy. They had plenty. Yeah, there's an art to wrap in your head. I just did it quickly, but there's an art to it. And I'm sorry for that. For all the brothers that know, So they had plenty of time, millenniums. I mean, plenty of times to observe and to pass on the oral tradition, and you know what I'm saying, on and on, because of the observance. And then when it came to Kemet, they were able or when it came to South Africa, the glyphs, right? And they were able to draw these glyphs as to carry on the oral traditions. They see the glyph, and then I know what I need to speak about. You know what I'm saying? All of this is interconnected, and all of this is genetics. Genetics. And so we see that when we read Genesis, again, gene, and the genetic blueprint, it's in the womb of the mother. And this is the description for us when we see. And then we're able to also look at the science and look at the ideograms, right? And we're able to see this, and we're able to see the solar, the boat, the solar boat, right, of Ra, the light. Because remember that electromagnetic forces from the sun, Ra, ray, is funneled in. And then when it comes to the solar plexus, right, where your diaphragm sits, that's willpower, you know? And that's where your breath, when you breathe from your diaphragm. You're supposed to breathe from your diaphragm. You know that, right? It teaches this in music. It's a diaphragm is contracting and expanding like this. And that's where they get, for Zay, that's where they get Allah from, that glyph. There's a lot of keys in different languages. There's different keys that deals with anatomy, and it deals with botany, and it deals with astrophysics. And I learned a new word, Afrotheology, but we're not going to go there, astrotheology. But this is astrophysics. And more than that, astrometaphysics. When looking at ideas, when looking at things that you cannot hold in your two hands, but you can see what? A reaction. You can see it in the environment, how it moves things. That's why our ancestors knew that the flag was so important, because when you look at the flag, and they determine, and that stands for Natharu, and 3 flags, Natharu, right? More than one, the Natharus, and the 3 flag understood that there is a hidden meaning in that. It's the wind that you don't see that flaps it. So that's force that you don't see that waves the flag. The wave plays a very important role. The waves. It's what astrophysics, our ancient ancestors, when it came to astrophysics, had determined the waves. So you look at symbols like the rabbit in the hieroglyphics, the rabbit, because it shakes, it's vibrating. You look at a rabbit, it's always shaking, right? That wave. They took ideas and concepts and gave it physical representation as to hide the meaning behind it. So you have lesser mysteries and high mysteries. This information about in the Nile Valley, and this information that I'm sharing with you is higher mysteries. And there's even higher ones than that, but this is a higher mystery. This is when you read something like certain scripts, especially in the Bible, in the Tanakh or the Old Testament, you get to see the comparison of other cultures, and you get to see the comparison of what it's speaking about and how it's hidden in logos, the true essence of things that you could make a reality to. And the reality, we all know that we come from the womb of our mothers. We all know that. We come from the womb of a mother. And in this womb, there's water. There's darkness. That's a condition. That's nature. You got to have what? You got to have darkness, because that's dark. The darkness, the blackness is all the potentials of everything that can exist is in there, in that blackness. And then you need moisture or water, right? And then you need light in order for things to grow. Same thing with the fetus. There is light in there. There is light. That's the reason why they can use sonogram, right? And they can see the way and actually with sonogram, expose and see the fetus. That's light in that womb. That's the light in darkness. They call the light in darkness. Yeah. Sandro, peace. Peace and blessings to everybody that's listening. So in this womb, we can establish a reality. All of us can establish a reality that we all come from the womb of a mother, right? And in that womb, when you start studying on and on and on, we know about the water breaks, right? Oh, my water broke. So there's water in there. You know what I'm saying? And we know that that's triple darkness, but there's a light in that triple darkness that goes on at a certain point because it needs those electric. And how does it get this? Because it's feeding it through the mother. Our life is predicated upon the sun and the electromagnetic forces from the sun. Our etheric bodies is what's moving. The electromagnetic forces are what moving viruses. The electromagnetic forces is what moving our very cells. It's feeding us. The mother sees through her eyes, to the frequencies she hears, through what she intakes even when she eats. The more sun food she eats, the more the fetus is going to be a better check. The more the fetus is going to be, the character personality is going to be lit up with that sun energy when she's eating. Very important. I said some women can't eat certain things when they're pregnant. They have to eat other certain things and they even have a craving for it because they understand. You understand? All of this is predicated upon that sun. And I'm going to bring something up right now. The people say, oh, that's sun worship. Yeah, listen. Let me tell you something. It's okay. Should I bring up the I'll bring in the concordance again. Give me 1 second. And we're going to go to Psalms. Right here in Psalms. It's going to tell you. Psalms 84. Just give me 1 second. Okay. Here we go. And listen, for those of you that's there, and we're going to do this. We're going to share this for a minute. Share my screen. Okay. And here we go. There you go. So this is Psalms 84:11. For the Lord, who's the Lord? The Yahovah, Yahuwah, Hua is breath. Yahuwah, right? Longest. I'm sorry, because it goes back into the beginning. For the Yahuwah of the Elohim is a son. See that? S-U-N. And son in Hebrew is Shemesh. 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 And that is a brilliant sun, the implication of the east, a notch battlement, Isa, window, the sun, the rising, and on and on and on. And this is in the Bible concordance. It's telling you right there in Psalms. But they kind of like pass that. You know what I'm saying? Pass it. But when you read this and you look at, again, the beginning of Genesis, genus, the genealogy of Isis, and the beginning of this life, we get to see how the sun is so important, you know what I'm saying, to anatomy and to the process, right? That we say what? Of birthing, right? And then we see also the character and personalities for my parents. And then there are ancient, see, we had to activate, that's DNA explosion. We had to activate the ancient DNA in us. So we got to read that information. By reading that information, we have to acknowledge it. We have to find out about it. So we found out about Haru, one of those ancient character personality that we have in us, Haru, which is the ability to what? Overcome things. We see also character personality of Ma'at, Ma, which is always in the middle. Ma'at, the balancement. We use water to balance things, right? With the bowl, the balancement. When you look at balance beam, it has water in the middle and shifting of the water, and you get to balance the bubble. You get to balance things. So it represents balance, you know? And then it's interconnecting when you balance and the wings of Haru. Then you look at Kepra, with the sun on top. Kepri, another one. These are genetic information that's being kept in these glyphs. And when you start impacting it, you start learning about it, you start that DNA explosion. And you start seeing the characters that you have within yourself, ancient character. That's why they say the ancients are back. The ancients are back because there are so many brothers and sisters out here that were able to tap on to this ancient genetics. Ancient genetics. So they're able to ascend. Again, messiahship. They're able to ascend like Haru, who gave us a perfect example of ascension. And when you look at that ascension, oh man, I should have brought it up, right? Oh man. But that's another class. I just wanted to go over the Genesis in the beginning, and you see how it all correlates with the womb. A reality. It's right there. A reality. And not to condone the Bible, let me tell you, because the Bible is full of a lot of contradictions. You'll know that. A lot of contradictions, though. But you see, in order for you to scramble the pieces, you got to have the ability to put the pieces back together so you can arrive at a truth. Everything is half truth. But you did pieces. Everything is pieces. Half truth is a pieces. You got to find the other halves, and you got to put it together, and it has to encajal. It has to cling on, stick. Musad. It has to stick. Become sticky. And that's genetic information that we can activate these character and personality that we're genetically innately born with. If you clip that, then you're going to be caught up in the storm. You're going to be considered what they call the mental dead. And you're not going to rise like Assad as the mental dead and advance in ethereal knowledge. And that's knowledge of natural nature. Now Valley, Happy Valley sciences that our ancestors left. Oral tradition, again, is encoded in our genetics. So when we start going ma, nala, ma, we normally do that as children. We call out for ma, mommy, ma, because we know that's the womb. And that's just all how it's all interconnected. So this is a genetic blueprint. And this is the blueprint, what is called the template, the blueprint in the Bible. Genesis 1 is like a blueprint, because when you go into Genesis 2, then it comes to the actual. And we're going to go over that someday. But Genesis 1 is the blueprint. And that's the genetic blueprint. And so we have to put the pieces together and create a reality. So the reality we created is that we come from the womb, Ma. And that's you can't argue with that, right? Unless you're a test tube baby. You're still a test tube baby. You got to be in water, no matter how you look at it. You know what I'm saying? You need that plasmic, you need that liquid, you need that water, you need the Ma. That's the principle of natural nature. It's needed. So we establish a reality that Ma, you know what I'm saying, ties us back genetically. Back genetically. And these character and personality, we have ways to navigate through the waters. And that is by knowing, again, the constellations, that's the constellation, and read those glyphs so that we're able to navigate within the waters. We're in water right now. Air is really water. H2O. The air is oxygen. The O is in there. Right? Oxygen, there's helium, there's, you know what I'm saying? So this is the tie-in. So that's all I want to say. I'm already at the 1 hour mark, and just want to read something real quickly here and end the class. Abdul Latif, my elder. It's there. You could do Cash App right there, or you could do PayPal. It's right there. Definitely PayPal. If you see in the bottom, and then you also see, and this is Thai. You know what I'm saying? What they call Thai. It's you know, it's just opening the lines of currency. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's appreciated. That's my Cash App, and you see in the bottom when it's coming. You probably can't see it in the bottom. It's so small on the Facebook, probably. But then you see it here. Let me. Yeah. Let me do this instead. Do that. Right there is my Cash App. $ COS 1211. And let me see something. Yeah. And then when scrolling the bottom is the scrolling in the bottom is the PayPal. So I just want to read you something before I end this this class, this communication. And that is, let us all, Nuwapians, Sabians, humanity, Homo sapiens, just let us end this class today in hopes that our soul is satisfied, that your soul is satisfied. And our quest for truth has been reached in this science of Nuwapu. Let us thank the ancient ones for this right knowledge, right wisdom, and right understanding. Our ancient ones, man, our ancestors, our pre-dynastic, our ancestors, my federation. Let us thank the ancient one for sending also Panaba Yananin. Gotta always mention that, the old man, Panaba Yananin, because I'm telling you, I've learned a lot being around this man. And brothers here can tell you, it's impactful. But when you around a man that also have that genetic explosion and that's sharing that with you, you got to be around people that have genetic explosions around you that's on it. So it could, again, rub off sticky. That's musar. It becomes sticky. You got to let that stick on you, man. This knowledge. And so we got to definitely thank Panaba Yananin, known as Dr. York, Panaba Yananin, Alimamisa, all the different names that he wore. But today's day and time, we say Panaba Yananin, Yanun, one with a light. He alone had the knowledge and wisdom and understanding to break the spell
He introduced us into this type of thinking, mental cognition, this type of thinking that now we're able to break things down using the skill of Nwapo, using deductive reasoning, inductive reasoning. We're able to use it. We're able now to make common sense. It's common sense. We can sense in our mind, in reality, that we all come from the womb. And we can actually see this sense. It's a sense. Let us all stay together. Let us all be sticky. Stay together, Musa. Man, we are thankful, Tawuhat. We are thankful, Tawuhat. We are thankful, Tawuhat. In Taino, Hahum, Hahum, Hahum. In Arabic, Shukran, Shukran, Shukran. I don't know how to say it in Hebrew, but I'm going to find out. But Hahum, Hahum, Hahum. In Taino, for my Boricua brothers and sisters out there, for my Sabian brothers and sisters, Tawuhat, Tawuhat, Tawuhat. Okay? We're thankful and we are happy. This is the Happy Valley. This is Africa. This is the cradle of civilization. Yeah. This is the Ma Federation. Ma. This is the federation that birthed us. It's the womb, the cradle, the womb. They knew they come out of the water. The Ma Federation was also known as the Fish Federation because they knew coming out of the waters. And so it was taken over to the Sumerian. The Dogons looked at it as a numos of those ancestors that came out of the waters, right? But you got to peep the show. You got to peep the game. Not the game, you got to peep the knowledge. And then you have the Magari of Sumeria in Mesopotamia. You know, we're going to go over that one day. But yeah, thank you all very much. Benita, 12/11 is my youngest son's birthday. Wow, that's deep. Why 12/11, brother? Because that is my birthday, December the 11th. I'm born on December the 11th. And you know what's interesting is that King Simon did a whole thing on that. And boy, it was just like, oh, I was like, yo, King Simon, stop it, stop it, stop it. Yeah. You gassing me, brother? But yeah. Thank you very much. Ma'at, Sashat, Re, Ma'at. See? And Benita Sutton, yeah. Hansu Amunra, right? The Ma Federation, the Ma Confederation, bro. That's ancient. And that's one of the first civilizations right now that they know of because they found the archaeologists have found bones that goes way back. Salute Cipher 730, man. Salute. And it goes way back, the Ma Federation. So there's archaeological proof. There is also in the Green Sahara, they found fossils, fauna, animal, and fish also in the Sahara Desert. So it was once a flourishing green land that had what they call waterways, waterways, like a plaza, had waterways all throughout the Sahara Desert. So they were able to trace the migrations, and then they separated. Some went up to what they call Ibiru, Mauritania, those indigenous Africans that stood up there, and some went to the Sahara, some went into the Nile Valley, and on to India. I mean, this is the Ma Federation, the Tanarian culture. Look up Ma Federation, you're going to see the Tanarian culture and how it predates. And these are our ancestors that built Kemet, built the civilization of the Nile Valley. Those are the Tarseti, right? The land of the bow, because these are hunter-gatherers. They were agriculture, hunter-gatherers that later on became agriculture. And they were the first one with the bow and the arrow. You know what I'm saying? And they spread out into India. They spread out to Mesopotamia. You know, this is the first of the Homo sapiens sapiens. And this is archaeology, anthropology, and this is oral traditions. And this is what Panabaya this is what he taught me. You know what I'm saying? This is where we were heading towards. You know what I'm saying? And of course, in that Ma Federation formed Sabah, which is in Sudan, formed the ancient Kem. All of these tribes, and then you go into a lot of tribes in West Africa, Egbo, the Yoruba tribe, and Egbo, all these tribes can trace their descendancy back to the Congo Basin, we call Niger Congo Basin, the Nile Valley, and to the Green Sahara. They, all of that, all of it. You know what I'm saying? These hunter gatherers, Homo sapiens sapiens. And we're going to talk about that also, about the missing link and all that. So these are conversations, Panabayanoon, that I had with him. And these are, and you can see, when I read, I know this man and Abiyaya, may he rest in peace. Let me ring a bell for the ancestor, Abiyaya. Abiyaya, peace and blessings to you. Yeah, peace and all and blessings. All and blessings to you. Best, best. So when you look at, you know, the Mao Federation again, spread out. Well, I was gonna go somewhere with that. But anyway, oh yeah, in what yeah, I know this man, and what Abiyaya had conveyed to us is that one thing about Panabayananin, that he came bringing a pure sense of African science. He was always about African science. It doesn't matter if it was Yoruba, Kemi, Sudan, even this, Islam, Israelite. He always gave it to us from an African perspective. If it was about Israelites, the school of what do you call it? The Nubian Islamic Hebrews, the Hebrew school, he gave it us from an African perspective. If it was Ansarullah from Sudan, African perspective. Native American, that school, African perspective, which I'm going to do a big thing on that. It's going to shock a lot of brothers and sisters. When we speak about, how Noble Drew Ali, one of the masters and teachers, Noble Drew Ali, shout out to Noble Drew Ali, and the mixture between the African, especially when you go into linguistics and you go into agriculture and you go linguistically to the different Native American tribe, and the comparison in linguistics that they have with the Ma in the language or script, specifically the script and language that they have in Mali, Mali into the Congo, in that area where the Ma Federation. So the Mali Empire. So I'm proposing this. My theory is that those 2,000 ships that they spoke about in the 1300s, that the Islamic scholar said when he was asking Mansa Musa about how did he gain the throne and whatever, and making an account of history account, and he spoke about his older brother that went, and he wanted to go into the encompassing seas and travel into that area that they unknown to them, right? After the Atlantic Ocean, what was past there? You know what I'm saying? When he did the account, they mentioned 2,000 ships later on that went, and they were trading back and forth. And so what happened to all those learned men, political men, drummers, navigators? What happened to them? What happened? You went to the moon, Mario? You crazy. So if that's you, man, that should be you. You went to the moon. So that connection with the Mesoamericans that were, coming up from the Inca and the Aztecs and breaking up, mixing in with Africans that were already here. 2,000. And then you see the spread. You see the spread all through North America. And you see artifacts, and you see oral traditions amongst Moorish saints. I mean, this is deep. Noble Drew Ali was onto something. And our master teacher, Panabayanu, was into something too when he did the Nuwapian Moors. Was into something, was leading, set the record straight. He was leading onto something. He was scratching the surface for you go further and further and further. See, of course, slavery was they brought slaves over, but it was a small section. Small amount of slaves that came here. You know, they brought more to Brazil because they knew to tie into the vine of Brazil because a majority of those Mali Empire, those ships, debarked it in Brazil. So when you go into the jungles of Brazil, you see, I'm telling you, linguistically, the scripts, man, bro, should I bring up the Monday script? I'm going to bring up the Monday script. Give me 1 second. I want you to look at these scripts. Let me see. Where is it? Damn. Damn. Well, let me bring this one up first. Let me bring this one up first. But I'm just going to do this real short. I don't want to keep you all too long in here. More people are coming in. But let me share this. Here. This is, again, a PDF. The world map of Al-Umari. And you got to know who Al-Umari was. Ahmed ibn Yahya ibn Fadala al-Umari. One thing about the Islamic world, when they took over, they started to document. One thing about about that paradigm with Islam that spread was they were going around and they were documenting a lot of manuscripts, a lot of work. So this is the world map, one of the first world map out there. Let me see. Shit. Yeah, what I'm doing here. Yes. So the Mamunic world map, and this date to 1340. Abu Bakr, during that time, and his brother came over in 1311. This is the 1340, not 1940, 1340. I'm sorry. So when you look at, this map that they had, you see this encompassing sea. They had a map. This is uncharted territories that the brother was interested. So let me find the part. I don't think it's here. Okay, here we go. If you read this here, I don't know if you can see this. Damn it. Huh. No, sorry. Sorry, y'all. Down here, I don't know if you can see it. Shit. But I'll read it to you. Let me see. How do you? Okay, hold on 1 second. Okay, hold on 1 second. Here it goes. Here it goes. I got it now. Ibn Amir Hajib said, I asked the Sultan Musa how the kingdom fell to him. He said, we are a dynasty and pass down the rule among us. And he, the former king, who was before me, did not believe that it was not possible to know the end of the compassing sea. See? He knew it was not possible to know the end of the compassing sea. He wanted to know this and was fascinated by it. So he prepared 200 ships equipped with people and the like numbers equipped with gold, water, and supplies that would be sufficient for years. He said to the travelers in the ships, do not return until you arrive at the end of the ocean or until you have used up all your food and water. They sailed out, and their absence lasted, and none of them returning. Then a single ship of them returned. One ship returned back. We interrogated the captain about their case and their news, and he replied, no, O Sultan, that we navigated for a long time until when we reached in the open sea, a valley appeared with a strong current. When I was I was the last one of the ships. Those ships sailed ahead of us. And when they arrived at that place, they did not return and reappear. That strong current, remember that strong current coming in. And you're looking at the Bermuda Triangle, that current is very strong. We did not know what happened to them. I myself retreated from this place and did not enter the valley. Ibn Amir Hajib, continue. He was reprimanded. He said after that, the Sultan equipped 2,000 ships, 1,000 for himself. Now, this is Abu Bakr II when he sent out the first 200 ships when they came back. And then he himself, 1,000 for himself, and men he took as company, and 1,000 provisions and water. 2,000 ships. Then he made me his deputy and sail out to the incapacity with his company. And this was the last time he was seen, and all of them who were with him, and the rule fell to me alone. Now, this is Uwamari report about the ruler of Mali resembles the story of Herodotus' story about the Phoenicians, okay? So very likely Uwamari referred to a similar legend about failing to sail south of the west coast of Africa. So anyway, this is the story. And it's very interesting to me because I'm like, but and if you lined it up with what's happening, you know, if you line it up with what's happening here and those different glyphs of different stone, blessings to you now. Okay. And when you study this and you do the research and you're like, whoa, let me see if I can put the pieces together. Let me see if this adds up. So you start looking into different cultures in America and different cultures in Yucatan, in the Mexico, Central America, and North and Latin America, and in the Caribbean. And so you see similarities. And you're saying, whoa, wait a minute. Could these people have just stood here and amalgamated in with the natives that we here that was coming in from the Yucatan area, the Inca and Aztecs, Toltecs, and the Mayans? The Mayans were kicked out. Forget it. The Mayans were kicked out. And I'll tell you that a little later of where the Mayans went. But still, there was some that traveled over into the Central America, right? The Mayans and Toltecs and Inca, and into the North America and amalgamated with these. That's my theory. And everywhere I look into this research, bam, I hit that. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. I look into the linguistics, the glyphs, and I say, yo, these glyphs, let me see if I can pull up. I'm sorry, I was gonna pull up the Monday scripts, right? We was gonna pull up the Monday scripts. And give me 1 second. Monday glyphs. Here it goes. Oh, let me see. Is this it? Let me see. Is this it? Yes. Yes. I got it. Okay. I want you to look at these Monday glyphs, and you're gonna see a similarity when you start looking at these glyphs. These mande, mande glyphs. Yeah? This is the mande kikakui, right? Right? Now look at these glyphs. You can see in these glyphs, you see Sabiic glyphs, you see Meroitic glyphs, you see glyphs from, man, Cherokee. I found Cherokee glyphs that resemble these glyphs. I found glyphs, Yamasi glyphs. I mean, you name it. You know what I'm saying? Kemetic glyphs, hieroglyphics. You know what I'm saying? You find this all, man. You know, the mande, kakakoi syllables, and so on. So this is the mande glyphs. And yeah, you see a huge similarity. Huge. What's going on? Afonso Pata, Hansu, Amunre, my esteemed elder, Abdul Latif, Tahaka, everybody. Yes, my brother. So it's so, wherever I look and I start doing this, I'm like, yo, wait a minute, there's something here going on, man. There's something going on when I find in all these native glyphs and these born stones and artifacts in through all North America, artifacts in the Caribbean. Oh man, when you even look at the Taino glyph in the Caribbean, the Taino symbols, man, you say like, yo, wait a minute. And one thing about the Taino, how the Ma Federation is so important because they understood of how the sun is birthed in from the water, coming from the water, the noon, right? Right. That's another thing. But it's so deep because they use the turtle as a symbol for the sun, and the turtle with the with the head, the fore, and the tail, right, for the sun, and they call it you know got the name they call it the sol, I forgot what they call it. But it's interesting. It's interesting how when you look at many different see, many different symbols and you see the relationship. Look at this. This is Taino, but you could find this in ancient Kemet. You could find this among Native American North America. You could find this, I said ancient Kemet, now Valley. You could find this among the Dogons. I'm going to one day break it down because a lot of us may know already, but I'll break it down one day. Not right now. Break down these glyphs. And that'll be for my Boricua brothers and sisters to break that down. But yeah. This is the Sol again. This is a little different. It's got more, but I'll give you the original one. I don't know where it's at. This is Atabe. You know what I'm saying? Knowing that the womb, how important Atabe, the womb. And this is for the Taino, Atabe, the womb. And so. I give thanks to Panaba Yananin. This is Panaba Yananin, who taught us what we know. And also, he didn't actually teach, he put us on that trajectory, you know what I'm saying, of, again, African history, African spirituality, all of that is all there. For the continent we know as Africa today. But that continent was also known as Ma. The Ma Federation. The continent was known by many different names. Many different names. You know what I'm saying? Ta Seti. Also Ma. Ta Ma Re. Ta Ma Re. You see? And so I'm gonna leave it there, yo. I said and that is the first. Well, we're gonna do this every Sunday. So again, we went into biblical text, and you see how you can link up genetically even with the biblical text. You got to know how to get out the box. Get out the book and look at reality around you, natural nature, the nature of the womb, the nature of birthing, the nature of that's natural nature. It's just a reality. But some people get so caught up in the translation that they get trance. They put in a trance. That's a hypnotic spell. That's what they call about the spell of Kingu. That mental dead because they don't have the etheric knowledge. We have been taken, the etheric knowledge has been taken away from us. So now we have to rise again. But that's embedded again in our character and personality, in our breath, in our genetic, our ancient genetic blueprint, our ancestry pattern, those ancient genetic overseers. We're children of Asar, we're children of Haru. These are natural forces in us now. This is genetic blueprint. So we got to go back to the ancient. Ancient. Right? Ta-seti also. Ancient. And Ma in the waters of noon. And that's what you get, noon. The science of noon. The science of Nu-pu. Nu-wa-pu. Science of Nu. The science of the water. This is a genetic science. A genetic science. And so you can go into any scripts out there, Verdict. You can go, but that's their perspective, how the Indians might see it, but you can get to the core of it. Just like in biblical texts and Torah, you can get into the core of it and see how that, and give it a reality. Don't get stuck in the trance, but listen, give it its reality. Understand, hey, the mother, the womb, Ma. I gotta always say it, Ma. You know what I'm saying? That's the cradle. That's the Ma Federation that birthed again ancient Kemet, birthed Igbo, birthed Yoruba, birthed all the tribes can be traced back to Nile Valley and to the Ma Federation. Hunter gatherers that traveled out, formed family lineage, and on and on and on. Anyway, I'll leave it there. Okay. And outro. And peace and blessings to y'all and those who I didn't look to see, but those who donated, okay, now you you in church, the ofrenda has been passed around and whatever you can, right there. My Cash App is up there and my PayPal is streaming in the bottom. Right? And so, let me see. Okay. And so we're gonna go more into this, okay? More and more into this. So until next Sunday, we'll do this Free Church of Karast. So in as to shine like a diamond. Shine like a diamond. All right. Oh, peace and blessings to you.